What's up, Verco? Sickness? How you guys doing tonight? Yeah, that's the usual process. What's up, Panda? How you doing tonight? Hey Skizzle, how you doing? How am I free transforming the blocks? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, do you mean like skewing brushes like this? Oh, that's easy. All you do is, with the brush selected, you just control, left click and drag outside of the brush. That's it. Yeah, the skewing brush thing is very easy. I guess it's something that most people don't use too often. Oh yeah, dude, I'm loving Far Cry 5. So the funny thing is, I think one thing I really enjoy about it is something that I hated about it from the start, which is the gunplay. It felt really sluggish and really hard to aim. Uh, you know, I'm used to Call of Duty, where it's super fast paced. You can just tap the trigger and fire really fast. Uh, this game is a lot more long distance, like mid to long distance engagements. So you're using a lot of rifles, like not necessarily sniper rifles. So you really kind of need to pick and choose your shots. You know, every shot really counts. Also as a result of that, you end up dying a lot. It's not a go in guns blazing kind of game. It's more like, okay, I need to clear out this stronghold, and I can see that, I've scoped it out with my binoculars, and I can see that there's about 10 enemies that are patrolling around, and there are some hostages. So if I just go in guns blazing, the first thing the enemies are going to do is kill the hostages. So what I need to try to do is be stealthy about it. I need to try to pick off one guy who strays away from everyone else, stealth kill him, then hide his body so other patrolling guys won't see him, and then sound the alarm. Which, the cool thing about sounding the alarm is when they do that, it doesn't just alert everyone in the compound or whatever it is to your presence. It alerts all surrounding compounds, and they send reinforcements by helicopter, by boat, by vehicle, by land vehicle. The environments are fucking incredible. As someone who loves, nature environments, woods and lakes and, just giant fields and things like that. This game does not get any better than this game. Oh, the story is great. It's so far the game is hitting on like every single point of things that I like. Just, all interesting points for me. So the whole game is about a cult that has taken over Montana. And you're basically, the cult is, you have the leader who goes by, everyone calls the father, his two sons, and I think it's his daughter. And they all control different territories in the state. So right now, just for about a week, I've been just trying to deal with the first son. The funny thing is when you first unlock the entire map, and you can kind of see like the scale of the game, it's deceiving. At first it doesn't look like the map is that big. But once you actually start flying around, flying in helicopters and planes, or, just hop in a boat and start driving down streams and rivers, or just on paved roads, dirt roads, the game is enormous. I can't say enough good things about it. I've never played any of the God of War games. They don't really interest me. The kind of hack and slash games don't really do anything for me. Yeah, I mean, the game may have an awesome story, just the gameplay never. I never saw anything that interested me so much to make me want to play any of the God of War games.
Disculpe mientras me culpo mi nariz.
Hey Diego, how you doing tonight?
Of the mind decaying, what is left of time?
My favorite multiplayer map in Call of Duty. Shit, that's a hard one. I don't know if I have one absolute favorite. I have a couple I would say are my favorites. Let me think. There was one map that was always a standout to me in Modern Warfare 2 called MP Subbase. I don't know what it was. There was just something about that map that was, for the way I like to play, absolutely perfect. Subbase and Domination, one of the most, one of the most fun maps I've ever played. I would also say Flak Tower from World War II. One of the best maps I've ever played. I'm having a hard time remembering some other maps. So the original Call of Duty had a lot of really solid maps. So from the original, I would say the original Carentan, and from United Offensive, Foy. Hey Alex, how you doing? Well, so here's the thing about Carentan. Carentan was made for the original Call of Duty, the very first Call of Duty. Back then, there were no score streaks, there were no perks. It was a bare bones game. Carentan fit that gameplay perfectly. Sledgehammer or Raven, whoever did the Carentan World War II version, did a very good job of not just updating it visually, but opening up some paths to make the flow a bit better. Thing is, it's just not a very big map. I personally love it in World War II. I think maybe it doesn't play as well in Domination as it does like for TDM or Kill Confirmed. Well, that's because back then there was no Domination. The original Call of Duty had no Capture the Flag, no Domination, no Kill Confirmed. It was a very basic, bare bones game. I think I think there's a very popular misconception that that YouTubers' interest in a game has a direct correlation with the game's overall interest or how many people are playing it. You know, if you were going to base a game's popularity or success based on what YouTubers say, they would tell you that Zombies is completely dead, that nobody ever plays it anymore. You know, from their standpoint, maybe a game doesn't provide as much opportunity for them to report on it like newscasters. But, you know, games aren't made for people to report on, they're made for people to play. Just my opinion. Well, you know, some people are just overly dramatic. How you doing, Tax? On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited am I for Black Ops 4? What kind of question is that? Come on. It's like a 20.
At sea, staring at the enemy, nurturing the urge to destroy. Escape becomes a dirty word when you're trying to kill the pain. Rolling up the coast, top down in a daze. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm feeling good. Whispers in the wind, head spinning around. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm feeling good. In the valley of dry bones, we burn the fat off of our souls, where everything is meant to be. Infamy and obscurity, now hunger and our thirst is raw. The primitive survival song, where everything is meant to be. Sucking all like baby teeth. Choose your poison, walk the edge between overdose and tranquility. fear becomes a dead friend. From sweet release to the bitter end. When you've got nothing to lose. In the valley of dry bones, we burn the fat off of our souls, where everything is meant to be. Infamy and obscurity. Now hunger and our thirst is raw. The primitive survival song, where everything is meant to be. Sucking on like baby teeth. Dress you in my mother's clothes, from her closet full of skeletons. You're all mine. The world is mine. You're all mine. The world is mine. Like Caligula, as curious as Oedipus, into the darkest of desires. To consequence I grow remiss. Take a step closer to the edge of what you fear. The eye is moving silently, you feel me drawing near.
I can't answer anything that has not been announced. So all I can tell you is that the game is Black Ops 4. That's it.
vulture picking shallow graves. The moon, the stars, the sun. The aftermath, what's done is done. Name the trail by your mother now, slither away. Your lust for another is a sinful display. No past, no future, only now. Swinging a cat and taunting a crowd.
See you, Tex. Teeth and hair, convince it to love you, obedient to submission. Praise of now sit in the jar. Years have passed, you come so far. Slow march to the gallows pole. Deny and let this point won't bring the nipple to the baby's mouth, or keep myself from flying south. I'm an insatiable creature. I want what I want, what I want, what I want, and I want. I know you felt the same way. Clip the Achilles on game day. Will make it hurt, leave you a cripple. I know you felt the same way. Clip the Achilles on game day. Will make it hurt, leave you a cripple. You don't wanna know what I've been while your castle was burning and your ship was sinking. About down that hog with loving fish, trapped in your hand, stuck in your land. Spirit men fly through the crowd, spinning around and upside down, cracking whips and heart attacks, lust and desire caught in your back. Flesh on flesh, skin on skin, take me to the hell you ran. No, I can't really talk about that kind of stuff. I can talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things I'm doing, but nothing I officially worked on. What's up, Joe?
children are dead.
What's up, MJ? The church map is still moving. Yeah, I'm Jamin. Doing pretty good tonight.
Napster, the scarab, tumbles down the blazing doom. Invalid file formats blast together into sad little herds. Behind them a trail of bits and broken pieces. Vicious apes drive them onward with whips and with words. Transistors of mercy got us in this darkest hour. Protect us from the whim of the simian beast. Grant us the sacrament. Grant us the power.
Yeah, I love Rob Zombie. Music and his movies. Just read recently that they just started filming a sequel to The Devil's Rejects.
In Sam the scarab leaves scriptures for the captives to stare at to no end. The ape has his gods and is the king of liars. And you have no
Here's one of my favorite Rob Zombie songs.
or lesser interest in fantastic and marvelous events. Some expansive cultures are excited about the strange parallel places in time. Others, perhaps more introverted, tend to shy away from strange. But the continuity of fantastic literature has a restaurant right way back to the further.
You got to meet Captain Spaulding.
Has come down through the ages, right the way back to the seal of Samosata.
That is so awesome. That dude had some of my favorite lines from House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I've never met any actors I like, but I've met a few musicians. And some of them were totally cool, and other ones I really regret ever meeting them.
Finally, the truth about Hitler's diabolical plans to create a race of superwomen can be told. Werewolf women of the SS.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that dude's been around. You know, been in a ton of movies, and I've seen him on TV, and he does a lot of voices in games. He was the voice of, wow, am I really forgetting his name? In Black Ops 3? Oh yeah, musicians I regret meeting. The singer from Machine Head was a giant asshole to me. Rob Flynn from Machine Head. Yeah, that basically went like this. This was on their Supercharger tour, which would have been like 2002, I think, when I was still living in New York. I went to see them in New York City. Monty, that's it, yeah. So a couple of friends of mine and I drove all the way out to the city just to see Machine Head. And I happened to see the singer from Machine Head walking by. And I just asked him quickly if I could take a picture with him. And he... I just said... the exchange went like this. I said, "Hey Rob, I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see you guys tonight. Can we just take a quick picture?" And he goes, "Ugh, alright, come on, let's go. Hurry up." So I asked somebody next to me to take the picture, and before I could even turn around and say thank you, he already ran away. So I actually never had the picture developed. It was like a disposable camera. I threw it away as soon as I got home. It's like, fuck that guy. He's a good musician, but he's a fucking terrible person. Another one that comes to mind is the old bassist from Fear Factory. His name was Christian Wolbers. Saw them. Fear Factory is still one of my favorite bands, but at that time, they were like, you know, number one. My absolute favorite band. And this was Ozfest 99 in New Jersey. Again, fucking... We took a hell of a trip to go out there, and it was absolutely miserable because it was so hot. I had met the entire band at a previous show in New York City, except Christian, the bassist. So I just wanted to meet him and take a picture with him, because back then that was actually important to me. And I saw him walking, like... There was a bunch of tents set up on the other side of Metal Railing, and he was walking around in the normal area where everyone, you know, all of us fans walk around, and he was maybe like 20 feet away from me. I just called out to him and said, "Hey, Christian," and he turned and looked at me, and it was almost like he turned around and ran. Like he just didn't want to deal with fans. So he went through a gate where they had security and went and was hiding out in a tent. And I was just standing at the gate. I was like, I just wanted to say hi to him and take a picture, that's all. And I must have stood out there for like 30 minutes. Because, well, and also at the time, there were no bands playing. They were setting up for another band. So I had literally nothing else to do. So I'm standing out there, and he keeps poking his head out the door and looking at me and, like, laughing, like, look at this guy, he's still out here, you know, still out there, you know, in the sun, waiting for me. So finally he comes out, and I call to him again, and this time, he doesn't even come across the gate. He stands on the other side of the gate, leans over, puts his hand on my shoulder, and does like the thumbs up, takes a picture, and just immediately runs away. So he didn't actually say a word to me. He just, you know, he saw I was waiting for him and made me wait like, you know, 30, 40 minutes or something out in the sun just to take a quick picture with him. Yeah. You must have it real rough having people that love your band and just want to say hi to you. Poor guy. That being said, the rest of the band was fucking awesome. Like I said at a previous show in New York City, we met Burton, who's the singer, Dino, the guitarist, and Ray, the drummer. Which for me, as a drummer, was like, that was like meeting my idol. The only thing that could have been better was like meeting Lars from Metallica. But at the time, this was, let me think, this was right after Obsolete came out. So it would have been either late 1998 or early 1999 in New York City. It was on the Obsolete tour, I remember that. I was friends with the guy who was, he was developing Fear Factory's very first website. It was an Australian guy I knew online. And he was personally dealing with Ray, the drummer, who was telling him basically everything he wanted. And I had mentioned to him that I was going to see Fear Factory. And he said, you know, let me talk to Ray and see if we can get you on the VIP list. Just offered it to me, and he spoke to Ray, and Ray was totally cool with it. So he added me plus one. So my brother and I got to hang out in the VIP area for the entire show. And the VIP area, we were sitting right next to the backstage door. So every time the door opened, it was like I had butterflies in my stomach. I was just dying to meet Ray. And he finally comes out, and I just jumped up and said, hey, Ray. And I introduced myself, and I said, I'm, you know, that guy's friend. And he says, oh, you're James. I just added you to the VIP list this morning. You know, any friend of his is a friend of mine. That's it. It's just one of those quotes I will never forget my whole life. Because he was so nice. And my brother and I took some pictures with him and with the singer and the guitarist. All super nice guys, except for the bassist. He was just a dick. I think that was it. The only musician I met recently, actually in the last couple of years, because I was totally having a fanboy moment when I saw him, was the singer from Dog Fashion Disco. We went to, it was back in 2013 or 2014, I don't remember exactly. Dog Fashion Disco had released like their comeback album. And they played a show in Hollywood. And me and a few friends of mine went to go see them. And it was maybe like after the first couple of bands played. Come on, play the song. There we go, this is Dog Fashion Disco. Yeah, so after the first couple of bands played, I saw the singer walking around, and he sings in a bunch of different bands. A lot of them are the same musicians, just, you know, slightly different music, and they call themselves, they'll go by different names. And one of the other bands, it's actually the singer's solo project, is a band called El Creepo. And I was there wearing one of my El Creepo shirts. And I called out to him and said, hey, Todd, you know, same thing, just, I'm such a big fan, I can't wait to see you guys, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Can we take a picture real quick? He says, yeah, sure. So he gets next to me, and then he goes, "Oh wait," he goes, "Nice fucking shirt," and he stands in front of me and brushes my hair out of the way so you can see the El Creepo logo. He goes, "Okay, that's better." And then he put his arm around my shoulder and we took the picture, and he shook my hand and walked away. It's like, see, that's all it takes. It just immediately made my year. Just because he wasn't an asshole. And then I found out that when my friend Chris was taking the picture for me, someone had done the bunny ears behind me. So I had to try to, like, do like a vignette effect to black that guy's hand out. Fucking asshole. Actually, you know, come to think of it, that night, that same Dog Fashion Disco show, I met 3 people. Back then, I was still smoking, and during one of the bands, I went outside to have a cigarette with my friend, and some guy walks up to me. He was, you know, these are all really small-time bands, so they don't have, you know, they don't have tour buses or roadies or anything, so they drive, you know, vans with trailers, and they unpack and repack all their own gear. So the van was parked outside, and the band who just finished was packing up all their shit and leaving. And the next band had pulled up with their stuff and was unpacking. And this guy with long, curly black hair walks up to me and says, "Hey, can I borrow your lighter?" So I'm sure. So I take out my lighter and hand it to him. He lights a cigarette and walks away. And then I was thinking for a second, I was like, I think that was the bassist from Dog Fashion Disco. That is so fucking cool. And, yeah, there was another band that played that night called The Bunny the Bear, which is fucking weird as hell. I had heard of them before, but I'd never actually heard them. And I actually, the funny thing is, went there just to see Dog Fashion Disco, and we left, and all we were talking about was The Bunny the Bear and how awesome they were. So, I actually ran into the guy who was the bear at the time. Upstairs by the merch table, and just said, you know, you guys sounded fucking awesome. And he said, "Oh, thank you. It's really nice." What's up, Greg? And actually, I don't think I have it on here, but my name is actually in a Dog Fashion Disco song. They, for their album called Sweet Nothings, they did an Indiegogo campaign to fund it. And they were asking for something like, I want to say they were asking for like $25,000 or $30,000 to fund it, and they ended up raising just shy of $100,000. And I contributed a lot of money because these guys are, you know, I'm such a big fan, and they're such a small-time band. Like, you know, they don't have major label funding, and they pretty much fund everything themselves. And they've had some really shitty record deals over the years and don't own a lot of their music, which sucks. And also, they were offering some really cool stuff for people who contributed a lot of money, so I contributed a lot. And one of the things was, if you contributed like a high amount, actually no, I think it was every person who contributed, even like $1 or more, they did a thank you song, which is basically just a drum beat and the singer talking over it. And he just kind of said, thank you, we couldn't have done it without you, blah, blah, blah. And then he read the entire list of every single person, first and last name, who contributed. And my name is in that list. And so is a friend of mine.
No confession, no repentance. I feel nothing, nothing at all. Bottle feeding.
Actually, MJ, you are absolutely right. The bunny, the bear, they don't wear costumes, but they wear masks. They have two singers. The one guy is the bunny, the other guy is the bear. Actually, I could play some of them. I have no idea if you guys are going to like them or not. They're... Fuck, man, I don't even know how to describe them. They are just a mix of like 20 different genres. What would be a good one to start with? Alright, here we go. One of my favorites. Is it actually going to play? There we go. Yeah, it's a real interesting mix. Like, it's very electronic, and then you have like the mix of like the deathcore vocals and the, I guess you might even say, like emo vocals. See if the song actually plays. I don't know. I might be having internet connection issues right now. Ah, there we go. Yeah, the song is called Ocean Floor. When I first heard the song, I was like, the chorus to this song is one of the most catchy things I've ever heard in my life. And for like a month, all I listened to was this song. What's up, Nick? How you doing tonight? Something a little different. I'm doing well, thank you.
off rock and roll. Dick Nixon is a killer. From Memphis to the Vegas Strip, he's Timbuktu, Manila. Sullivan, you fucking droid. Kill yourself, will fill the void. Absolutely nothing at all. Polyester beads of sweat, greening bloated Baphomet. Gluttony was the gateway drug, and now ruin is your bastard son. You're drowning on deserted shores. Disgraceland, access to excess, it's a wasteland. Spin my records, shake them hips, taste me on your daughter's lips. Sun records, the moon, the stars, jailhouse rock, the prison bars. All hail the king, by the world of coke and sing. DEA, the golden throne, your ghost is the only one home. Clog the pipes with peanut butter, bacon and banana. All hail the king, by the world of coke and sing. Gluttony was the gateway drug, and now ruin is your bastard son. You're drowning on deserted shores. Disgraceland, access to excess, it's a wasteland. Spin my records, shake them hips, taste me on your daughter's lips. My tongue gets tied when I try to speak my hands.
This is actually the singer from Dog Fashion Disco with a band called Cookie Crotch Nuts. I've never heard of them before. All I know is that Todd from Dog Fashion Disco did one song with them, so I bought it on iTunes. This is I guess the singer from the band singing here, but the rest of the song is Todd from Dog Fashion Disco. Yeah, it's a super catchy song. It's got a great groove to it. I'll put on some Fear Factory. Little industrial metal. man, that is really bright. What's up, Osh? You changed the shadow direction in Ape. So if I were to, let me show you real quick. Select the sun volume and then open whichever one I'm editing. So I think it's good to specialize in one aspect of game design, game development. My personal opinion is yes. You know, I think if you're trying to get a job, studios like to hear that you have a very clear direction chosen. Not that, oh, I can do this or I can do that. It's they want to hear 100% I'm a level designer, or I'm a scripter, I'm an engineer, I'm an environment artist. It's always good to have you know, knowledge of what the other departments do. But from my personal opinion, I would say I would rather focus on one thing. Huh, that's odd. It says that SSI doesn't exist. Weird. Oh. Huh. That's very weird. Yeah, Nick, I tend to agree. This is very strange. I'm not seeing SSIs in here. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened here. I mean, the SSI files still exist. I don't know why I'm not seeing them in Ape anymore. When I try searching for them, I get nothing. See ya. Dude, I am genuinely baffled here. I have no idea if do I have something set incorrectly? So weird. Nothing is showing up. Nope, still nothing. Well, that is certainly going to be a problem I'm going to need to look into. Okay, well. Anyway, the point is you adjust the sun direction in Ape. Which I can't show you right now because Ape doesn't think that these files exist. Alright guys, well, I'm going to stop the stream here. It's been over 2 hours and I'm starting to get pretty tired. So, thank you guys for hanging out. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I have to see how I feel. Whether I can pull myself away from Far Cry. And anyway, thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next time.